Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is altcoin era, and today we're going to talk about crypto and the markets in general. So let's begin. Some breaking news in the stock market. New York Community Bank NYCB is in talks to offload some of its mortgage risk as its stock falls 65% year to date. According to Bloomberg, the bank has been reaching out to investors for capital to finance a large portfolio of residential mortgages. Third-party capital will inject liquidity into residential mortgages held under its Flagstar Bank unit. As you can see here, another bank is about to go bust. This is Bank Corp, and this is the monthly chart. It's all related to crypto. It's important to check other markets and how it will affect BTC. Whenever a bank goes bust, like a major regional bank goes bust, the Federal Reserve step in, and what they do is they pump liquidity back into the market. We live in a society where banks are too big to fail, and whenever a bank fails like this with horrible debts that they know they can't pay, with bad debts that they know they cannot pay, the last resort is always the Fed. The Fed step in and rescue the markets. Whenever this happens, normally we see a huge liquidity in the space. For example, if you look at M2, let's check the M2, the money supply, the total money supply circulating in the US. This is the total money supply. Right now, we're currently at 20 trillion, approximately just under 21 trillion. During the 2021 COVID scenario, there was massive QE and massive quantitative easing. During this time, we had a massive cash injection from the Federal Reserve that ultimately spanned from February 2020 all the way to May 2022. Shortly after, we had QT, which resulted in the markets going down, the S&P going down almost 25, and the S&P going down during that time here to here was almost 27%. Now, as you can see, if I zoom in a bit more, get rid of a few stuff, just put a line there, and as you can see, we're heading back up. The money supply is starting to increase, and we're starting QE at the moment. So quantitative easing just means printing money. The government just simply prints money and puts it back into the system via banks, regional banks, so they can lend to businesses, to personnel. So whenever a regional bank goes down, there's more quantitative easing, more printing of money. Subsequently, what happens after is a pump in the stock markets, a pump in BTC, and also a pump in altcoins. Unfortunately, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the European central banks are all addicted to money printing, and this figure will only go up. It's only going to go up. MetaMask deal with Robinhood broadens crypto access. On-ramps like the one used in this partnership are a key piece of infrastructure serving as a bridge between traditional banking rails and blockchain-based crypto economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Robinhood now in MetaMask. They've done a partnership, and I think this is going to bring massive amounts of retail into the space, and it's going to be more and more easier for retail to buy crypto. They can buy it already on their smartphone, but now they can also buy it on MetaMask. So this is very bullish for the space. This is a list of the news that I felt is very important in the space at the moment. Solana restarts after a 5-hour outage. This is common knowledge. Solana always has outages, always has situations like this, and this is nothing new in the space. Unfortunately, when you have a system that optimizes speed, there's other stuff that becomes problematic, such as security, such as the network might go down, and this is the case. Last bull run, this happened. This bull run is still happening, and I don't think personally this will change. Unfortunately, it's the way that they've designed it, and they have to start all over again from the bottom to rebuild it again, which they will not do. I think there's going to be other competitors that will capitalize on this. Number 3, the SEC delays decisions on Investico Galaxy Digital Spot ETF. As you can see here on the chart, there's going to be delays, and unfortunately there's more delays, but the final deadline is in May the 23rd is the final deadline for Ethereum ETF. Like you already know, I'm very bullish, and I'm currently long on Ethereum. And finally, for the bite-sized news, is Binance. Binance has delisted Monero privacy coin. I did make a prediction about this, and I did say this in my crypto prediction of the year, and it's right here, crypto predictions for 2024. BTC is currently at $44,319. It's up 2.85%. Ethereum is at $2,424 and is up 2.17%. Tether is at $1. BNB is at $307. It's currently up 1.66%. Solana is at $100.98. It's currently up 4.26%. XRP is at 51 cents and is up 1.75%. ADA is at 50 cents and is currently up 0.75%. Avalanche is at $35.30. It's up 3.33%. Dogecoin is at 8 cents and it's up 2.13%. Chainlink is at $18.85. It's up a whopping 3.05%. Tron is at 12 cents and it's up 2.29%. Polkadot is at $6.95 and it's up 1.95%. And finally is at 83 cents and it's up 3.56%. BTC price targets. We made a right shoulder, a head, and we just literally opened above this trend line. What I think might happen is we might form a right shoulder. We might form a right shoulder mainly because the volume is very low. The volume is going down while the price is going up, and this is a divergence. This is a bearish divergence. Yesterday's episode, I did mention that we are consolidating around this tight range. As you can see, we have literally broken out of this range and we're about to hit this trend line. We've opened above this trend line. So far, we've opened above this trend line. We're going to have to wait for the close and see what happens next. The probability is that we might go to the downside. I don't know exactly when, but the probability is maybe 70% that we go back to that downside because the volume is not there and it's not sustainable at the moment. What I want to see is higher volumes like this. That means whenever you see higher volumes like this, it means it's actual buying pressure. If you see lower volume like this, it means it's not sustainable. If we do manage to hold above this trend line, we're going to go to my next resistance, and that's going to be $48,000. After that, it's going to be $50,000. And then finally, last resistance to tackle is 59,000. For my downside, like I mentioned earlier, for my downside, it's going to be 37,535. Put that in your calendars. And the next one is 35,311. BTC dominance currently at 52.72%. I think we're going to go back to this trend line of 53.67. I think we're going to hit this trend line, maybe do a fake out, but I think that's all she rode for dominance. I think that's about it. I think we've peaked. The maximum I think we've got to is 55. I think we peak now. We might range for a little while and then head back down. Ultimately, I think BTC dominance is over. Ethereum BTC chart. We're currently at 0.05. We've made a lower high, which is positive. And now I think we're about to attack this trend line. It's very, very important and pivotal that we attack this trend line, break this 2.5 year trend line. Solana price targets currently at $101.16. We just opened literally right now. It's up 0.02%. It's opened above my trend line. This blue trend line right here is opened above it, which is good news, but we're going to have to see, will it close above it? It's very important that we close above this trend line. This trend line is a massive, massive resistance at the moment. And what we need to do is we need to close above this trend line. If we close above this trend line, the next resistance is at $110. And then after that, the next resistance is at $126. Where am I? Here we are. ADA price targets currently at 50 cents. ADA is just about to hit this trend line, and we're going to see if it's going to break past this trend line. This trend line has been here for almost a month now, and we kept on getting rejected time and time again. Now we're going to see if it can break and hold above this trend line. This does look bullish because we did wick all the way to support, and then buyers stepped in and just completely just dragged the market upwards, and we closed on the day 2.5%. We just literally opened now, so it's important that we break this trend line. If we don't break this trend line, we're going to head back lower to 47 again, to 47 cents again. And if we break this trend line and hold below and form a complete candle below this trend line, then it's just straight all the way down to 40 cents. So what I want to see is something like this. It's called the bump and run technique. So you break past this trend line, you go back to the scene of a crime, you retest it, and then you head up higher. That's called the bump and run pattern. Let me show you. Here is the bump and run pattern. You break the trend line. So it's a bearish trend line. You break the trend line, you retest the trend line once you've broken it, and then you continue up higher and further. Blur is currently at 60 cents, and Blur is doing really, really well. I just want to show you something which is very, very important and informative. At the moment, Blur owns 79% of the NFT market at the moment. OpenSea has done so badly from owning 100% of the NFT market to now only owning 15%, a whopping 15%. I told my viewers, I told my audience, to buy in during this whole move. Like, I told people, I even made a TikTok video telling people to buy at these lower ranges. You can check out my timestamps, you can check it out. And now Blur has become the biggest platform in the NFT market, which is incredible. So congratulations to everyone that holds a Blur. I think Blur is going to do really, really well. It's an easy play, although the market cap is massive, but it's an easy play. It's an easy 5x play. Like, it's incredible. And look at the volume. The volume is massive here. And it's done really, really well at the moment. So I'm going to make a whole video about NFTs and about Blur. And there's a lot of alpha in NFTs. And there's a lot of money in NFTs. But people are still sleeping on NFTs. They will come back. NFTs are definitely going to come back. I see Blur easily getting to this wick. Let me show you this wick. What was it, $8? Where is it? Of $8. Yeah, I think you'll get to $8. This is a huge liquidity grab of $8, and I can easily see it get to $8. It's still 60 cents. So yeah, very long term, I think you'll get to $8. It's incredible. The platform is really, really good. And I was speaking about Blur a long time ago. I remember speaking about Blur during this whole period, this whole time. Last but not least, we have Mint Layer, road to 1000x, currently at 53 cents. We've hit my target, and it's hit my target of 53 cents. Now my next target is this trend line here, and this trend line is at 43 cents. That's my trend line. The first trend line has been hit. The second trend line is still pending. We broke down below 53 cents. We didn't hold below 53 cents. We didn't even make a candle below 53 cents. So this is ideal. This is a good start. What I want to see is a close above 53. If we manage to close below 53 cents, then ultimately we're going to head to my trend line and to my diagonal trend line right here, which is labeled black. And the price that I'm looking at, the next price I'm looking at is 42 cents. That's the next price. We have had a deep correction, and like I said, I did say this, we're gonna have a deep correction, and we had a deep correction of almost 49%. If we go even further, it's gonna be 56% to my ultimate target of 42 cents. I've noticed during this whole drawdown that some people in the community are getting impatient. Remember what Warren Buffett said. He said stock market, the entire stock market, is a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. So just carry on DCAing, carry on buying down. Remember, get your average cost down. And this is a great project. It doesn't matter if it gets to 35 or it gets to 27. I'm not saying it will, but what I'm saying is these are buy the dip opportunities. Right now is not a time where you sell your bags. This is not the time to sell your bags. This is a time to accumulate and to buy. As for Mint Layer, ideally what I want to see is Mint Layer on DeFi Llama. I want to see DEXs, I want to see cross chains, I want to see stable coins move into the space, but I understand it takes time. These things do take time, and I definitely want to see more and more developers come into the space and develop in Mint Layer. I want to see meme coins on Mint Layer, and I know Mint Layer is capable of doing this. I want to see more protocols on BTC, to be fair. Right now there's eight protocols on the BTC DeFi Llama space. So ideally I want to see Mint Layer in number 10 and then climb all the way to number 2 and number 1. That's it for me. It's a late one tonight. Smash the like buttons, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good night. Peace.